Okay, let's do this. This is a big one. Here we go, pumped up. Collab, here we come. Hi, Smithy. Yay. Welcome. In today's video, I am doing a collab with my really good friend here on YouTube, Smithy Sony. So if you like that kind of content, where we're doing some one and done eyeshadow looks, colors, our favorite formulas, then definitely stay tuned. Welcome. In today's video, we're doing something a little bit different. I have a collab with one of my favorite YouTube friends named Smithy Sony. Definitely go check her video out as soon as you're done here. You'll love her. She's so adorable. You just got to check her out. If you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by. If you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. If you like the kind of content, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe down below. Turn on all notifications. That way you're alerted of my content on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 9 a.m. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and show you my collab here. So stay tuned. All right, so as you see, I have blue eyes, fair skin, fair light skin. So red is the opposite color of blue on the color wheel, as I'll show you here. Reds really make blue eyes pop. So you're talking like pinks, even some coral type peachy shades, red undertone browns, red golds, anything with a reddish base is going to look really good on blue eyes and really make blue eyes pop. So that's what I'm focusing on. Now my friend Smithy Sony, she's just gorgeous. She has brown eyes, tan skin, beautiful, dark hair. And you're very, very fortunate if you have brown eyes because really any color looks good on you. So yeah, so you really can't go wrong. But yeah, so if you're ready to see, I will link her video down below, but I'll just show you here a little snippet of her. Again, she's just so cute and bubbly. She's just a wonderful person. So definitely check out her video as soon as you're done here. So this is long overdue, but we're gonna go ahead and get started. Now, again, it was really hard. I have so many eyeshadows. Oh my gosh, you guys don't even know. I have literally probably close to 400 eyeshadow palettes at this point. So if you can imagine trying to pick 15 eyeshadows out of 3,000, I mean, it's like picking a needle out of a haystack. Needless to say, this has been a long process. I mean, I literally had like eyeshadow palettes scattered everywhere, all over my bed, on my dresser, on the floor. I mean, it was like, yeah, it looked like a tornado had come through my bedroom. It was quite interesting. But yeah, I based mine more on, like I said, color story #1, but formulas, types of shadows, and some of my favorite brands. You will see some repeats. I tried to include a lot of different stuff, but needless to say, I do have my favorite brands, my favorite formulas, and so you will see a lot of those. So we are gonna go ahead and get started. As we go to, I'll explain what I have on now, but I'm not gonna tell you just yet, so you have to stay tuned. But I did a very simple eye look, so I could show you a one and done shadow on me specifically. But I'm just going to start lighter to darker and go down the list. The first one I show here is Colourpop's Blush Crush. I will insert some photos here of me wearing the shadow as well as swatches, comparisons, and tell you a little bit description of the color. The one I picked out of here is called Blossom Up. Now that is a shimmer shadow. I will tell you my references down below as well. A lot of what I used was either the website itself, which Colourpop wasn't very good about giving descriptions of shadows. Christine on Temptalia, she was a huge resource for me, so thank you so much. I think she said 14 years that she's been doing like reviews, comparing products. So I mean, she's got quite a history and large knowledge base, so she was a great resource. As she described it, medium dark pink with warm undertones with a peach gold shimmer. Now what I will probably do here though is at least try to do some swatches live so you can see. Sorry, not trying to flick you off there, but try not to show you my bad finger either. Yeah, it's a really pretty color. Now again, this is light, so it's pretty light. It'll show up, but see how that has like a little bit of a shift there though? It's really, really pretty though. So that is my first shade that I picked. All right, so the next runner up is Juvia's Place. This would technically be #2. This is the Nubian 3 Coral. It is a little bit of a cooler tone with some warm tones in it. And these don't have names, unfortunately. But the one I'm going to talk about here is this bottom third shade. It's so pretty. But this one is described as a shimmering orange coral, which I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, just a quick swatch on that one. See that little bit of difference here? You got a little bit more of a pink based, and then that one's definitely like a peachy coral shade. Very, very pretty. Number 3 on my list is BH Cosmetics. This is the Chillin in Chicago palette. Now again, you hear me talk about BH Cosmetics all the time. Love this, and actually as I was doing a lot of research, there are a lot of great reviews on this palette. Now the one color that really jumped out to me, and this might not be as flattering, I'll show you some pictures, but I just love this shade. I thought it was so cool, is this one called Jazzy. Jen Phelps, which is one of my YouTubers that I watch, she has a separate channel called Jen Phelps Swatches, and she did a review on this and described this as an orange duochrome. And as you see it, it definitely has kind of a gold shift there, kind of a pink shift there a little bit, but definitely you can see the gold and the orange. But yeah, see, even those have some similarities, they're definitely different. So number 4 for me, Persona Identity. This is a beautiful palette. Love this one. Color story there, I would say neutral to warm, maybe a little bit of cool. I love all of these shimmer shades in there. The thing I like about this one is it's very smooth. So anybody that has texture on the eyelids, you're a little bit more mature. This is a really good formula that it won't emphasize the texture. It's not really thick and chunky, which I mean, I like thick, chunky, bright, foiled metallics, but I can't say that they're that great for texture on your eyes. They definitely emphasize. But this one is a little bit more subtle, smooth metallic formula. The one I chose in here is Seductive, which is this one here. All 4 of these are wonderful shimmers, metallics. The reason I chose this one, it is described as a medium golden taupe brown with warm undertones. And I just thought for my skin tone, my eye color, just thought it was such a pretty color. Again, I do have a lot of like bronze, gold colors, but I love this palette. It's a great staple palette in my collection. Still one of my favorites, and I do still use it quite a lot. Number 5, now this was a hard one for me. I was trying to find like a true gold. Not that there aren't a ton of true gold, but that was what was hard trying to narrow this down. But what I did choose was Natasha Denona's gold palette. I mean, it just made sense. Just seemed like obvious. Now I've shown this before, but the color I chose here is this middle one called Oro, and this is described as a gold metallic. So to me, this was just like your just true gold metallic. I just love Natasha's formulas. It's just one of my favorites. You will see definitely a few Natasha Denona eyeshadows in here. This is one of my other favorite brands that I've talked about quite a lot, is Sydney Grace. Now this is just one of my empty palettes that I have put together here. Now, these are just a bunch of your like pink, strawberry red, purplish. The one that we're focusing on today is this one here called the Ballet. Unfortunately, Sydney Grace's website didn't have a description for this shadow, so I don't know if that means it's going to be discontinued or it's just not one of the more popular. I don't know, but I like it because I think it's one of her smoother ones and like a little bit less intense. So for like your everyday one and done type of shadows, I think this would be a good one. This is called a very warm toned dark pink metallic. I think it's just a really pretty color. I have a feeling I'm going to run out of room, but we'll just have to use a different part of the arm when that time comes. I love Sydney Grace. There were so many, it was really hard to choose because I literally probably have almost 200 singles of hers and love them all. Oh yeah, that was a hard one, Sydney Grace. Love her though. All right, number 7 is Lorac. Now this is a palette that I've talked about a lot too, and it is the Noir palette. And I like her older line too, but of the newer ones she's come out with, this is one of my favorites. And this is a little bit more cool tone palette, but it still has some warmth to it. But I just love these metallics. I mean, they're just beautiful. Oh, but the one I'm gonna focus on here, this is called Lust, and it is described as a caramel shimmer, but oh my gosh, I mean, I think it's just gorgeous. I love that color. I just think it's so pretty, and I love this palette. I think it's just gorgeous, honestly. Just going under that last one. Oh, I think that's so pretty. There's some similarities to these, but still enough difference. I don't know how much difference you would notice just having it on your eye. You know, you wouldn't be able to say, hey, yeah, that's, you know, this versus that. But again, I mean, when you put them up together, you can definitely tell there's some variance, some difference in these colors. So, but Lorac, I think underrated. I know it seems like she kind of disappeared for a while and then her brand came back with this, you know, newer launch stuff. But I love the formula. I have the older palettes and I really enjoy her pro palettes. So number 8 here I have is Charlotte Tilbury. This is one of the cream eyeshadows I have. Mine is called Marie Antoinette. When I was looking at the website though, apparently they've renamed it and it's called Oyster Pearl now. It is an antique oyster gold. But again, if you're looking for a one and done, and I think the first person that hipped me onto these was Jessica Braun. I do have this one, and then I have the rose gold one, but this one to me was just a little bit more special. I can't explain it, but it's very creamy, but it does dry down. It has a nice like sheen to it, like shimmer, but nothing like crazy. So if you're just looking for a nice, just simple, elegant, everyday kind of look, I think this is a great one, and it's a great formula. Now, I don't talk a lot about Charlotte Tilbury, but this is one of the ones that I do like, are these cream formula ones. I think if you're going to get any of hers, I recommend one of these or the larger palettes. Number 9 I have here is Makeup Geek, which is one I don't talk about a whole lot on here, but I do really like Makeup Geek. Now, this is one of the quads. Actually, they have these at Target, but I do have some of her single shadows that I got right from her website. This little quad is called Chocolate. This color that I'm going to talk to you here about is called Grandstand. This one's a neutral medium copper, so again, depending on the color story you're looking for, but to me, I love this one. I think it's so pretty. It's a little bit of a copper, so I like that it's a little bit less warm toned, I guess. I'm telling you, the metallic formula of Makeup Geek is just on point. I love their metallics. I mean, their mattes are great too, but I don't hear a whole lot about them. I think they're kind of underrated, but I love Makeup Geek, so I highly recommend them. Number 10, Pat McGrath. Oh, Pat. No, Pat. This was a tough one. Between all of the large palettes and some of the other little palettes I have, what I chose, the Blitz Astral quad, and this one's an iconic Illumination. It has their special shades in there, but again, it's just a nice everyday wearable palette. Although this red shade is beautiful, the color I chose right here is bronze gold. As it says, it's a bronze gold, but it's a high shine. It's one of her special formulas, but it's just beautiful. I love that bronze shift of gold, like not just a pure gold, but that bronze gold. I think that's so pretty. I just love that shade. So that is a beautiful for like if you want a high shine, shimmery type of one and done shadow. Pat McGrath, her formulas, palettes are just wonderful, but I figured 58 versus like the full palette that's like 125. So, you know, at least it's a little bit more affordable, and they do have sales every so often. So, number 11 for me, Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is the Norvina palette. Now this was hard too, because I do really like her palettes. I don't talk a whole lot about them, but this one, the color story just spoke to me. I know I love purples, that kind of thing, but what I did choose in here, make sure I'm pointing to the right one, is this rose gold. I did focus a lot on gold type of shades, so again, this is a rose gold. I think it was Sephora I got the information from. As they describe, it is a metallic rosewood, a very, very pretty shadow. Oh, I love this one. I think it's so, so pretty. So again, this was a little bit harder for me to choose from too. And again, I will insert some pictures. I did take some of these to show you that there is, even though they look very similar, some difference to them. So another one here, you know, I love Colourpop, so a lot of mine are Colourpop. It was really hard to choose. You don't even understand that I have probably now close to 100 Colourpop palettes. But the one I did choose is It's My Pleasure. And I think I first heard about this one from Andrea Mattiano, I think is how you say her name. She's a YouTuber, one of the influencers. She's just cute, love her, but she's always talking about Colourpop. You got your pinks and purples in here, but it's just a beautiful palette, and I know she made some really pretty looks with this. But the color that I gravitated to with this is this one called Bare Minimum. It is described as a medium cool toned dark berry. As you will see, I don't have a whole lot of dark colors or very bold colors that I chose. I think most of mine are more neutrals, but again, I think just for everyday one and done type shadows, that's probably more so what you're going to reach for. More of your colorful looks are going to be like a multi-dimensional color look, but to me, this was a really pretty one. Again, that reddish undertone in there really, really makes the blue eyes pop. I love Colourpop. One of the palettes I really enjoy from there is a little bit more colorful palette, so definitely highly recommend that. Number 13, we have Natasha Denona. This was another one, again, it was really hard to choose from. What I chose here is the Mini Zendo palette, and the reason I chose this one, again, it's a very pink palette, but this one is the one I remember even talking about. That was my favorite color in this palette, and I just think it's so pretty. As it is described on Sephora's website, it is a shimmering dark cool burgundy. And I just think that, oh, is so pretty. Like I have tons of pinks, I have tons of, you know, those other colors, but that burgundy is just such a great accent, like especially an outer corner shadow. Even a one and done, you could start it a little bit darker and then kind of shear it out a little bit higher, like into the crease. It's just such a pretty color. So if you want a little bit more depth to your eye, that's a really great choice. Not sad I have it. So now that was number 13. Number 14, now this is a company I've talked about. It is a black-owned indie brand, is Beaute. And this palette here is Nostalgia. And I actually got this one in BoxyCharm in a pop-up sale or whatever. And I ended up picking this up and got it for like $9 and it retails for I think $30. I'm so glad I got it. It is so pretty. I mean, these are just like such inspirational colors there. And the one I'm going to talk about here is this color called Flower. Now it's really hard to tell what it looks like here. It looks like just kind of a mauve, but it's kind of like a salmon pink. I looked and looked, tried to find information. There was really nothing on Beaute, nothing I could really find anybody talking about it. But I did compare this to Makeup Geek, a couple of their shades. There was one called Peachy Pink or something like that. It's all listed in here. It was the closest I could find, but this is such a pretty color. It's just very complimentary. I highly recommend that one. Number 15, now again, I did have one extra. So number 15 is Natasha Denona. That's actually what I'm wearing now. This is the Biba palette, which is like her all neutral, mostly matte palette. I think it's only got 3 or 4, I don't know, it's hard to tell. There's definitely 3 shimmers and then maybe some of her like cream to powder formula that looks kind of that way. But the one that I'm wearing now is this color called Buff. This is described as a matte antique pink. So again, with that pink undertone or, you know, red base, it's just a really nice one and done, even a transition shade. It really, really complements blue eyes. I just really like that color. And again, see, there's enough difference there between that flower color in Beaute and then, you know, the Buff. I think it's just so pretty for my skin complexion, eye color. I think it's a great option. So that is number 15, which I should be stopping there, but I couldn't. I mean, I couldn't even really narrow it down to 16 technically. So the last one I have here is Wahala by Juvia's Place. The color I'm going to talk to you here, which I just think is so pretty, is this one at the top here called BU. Now this is described as a burgundy or berry color. Just a beautiful color. So if you're looking for a little bit darker one and done shadow, I think that's just a really pretty one. And that's a nice thing too about some of these darker ones. Yes, they're dark and they're bold, that kind of thing, but you can really sheer them out to be a very just light touch of colors. But definitely recommend, you know, I talk about Juvia's Place, I really like their palette. So again, you'll see a lot of repeats in my choices. That's what I got for you today, so I hope you enjoyed. Again, I will link Smithy Sony's video down here. Thank you girls so much for doing this collab with me. Thank you for being so patient with me, because it took me forever to be able to finish this with my finger. Just kind of put things on a standstill and just whatever. Appreciate it, but I'm so glad we did this collab. Love that girl. So definitely check out her video so you can see her choices. Thank you again for doing this collab with me. Thank you for being here. Hope you got some inspiration from these one and done. Now you can definitely find some dupes for all of these shades. Honestly, I could have found multiple, but again, these were the formulas that I really like, or, you know, ones that caught my attention. I hope that was helpful. I hope you enjoyed this one and done eyeshadow, and otherwise I will list everything else I'm wearing down below just to save time. But thank you again for being here so much. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your continued support. Thank you so much. If you like this kind of content, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe down below. Turn on all notifications, that way you're alerted to my content. I do post on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 9 a.m. so make sure you check those out. Otherwise, as you guys know, I always say, make sure you stay safe, stay healthy, wear your mask, social distance, wash your hands. Have a wonderful day, and I do hope to see you again soon. Bye. Is Juvia's Place Nubian 3 Coral. Very, very pretty palette. It is pretty. So for this next one, which is fortunately Sydney Grace's. Sorry, I feel like I have a hair in my face. Okay. All right. Nice bronzy, but like kind of. This one is called Bronze Gold. And so, oh no, I'm sorry, wrong one. Whew. Man, okay, that was long. I hope this caught everything, because I'm gonna be sad if I have to do this again. Oh, please save.